Hey guys, it's Trapper with Trip with Dad, and where every trip becomes a story that you will tell for years. And I'm sitting here with Joe Murray. Joe is fairly new to Trip with Dad, and as a matter of fact, he's going to be a part of it going forward. But the real reason we're here right now is I'm going to interview Joe, and I'm going to ask him some questions, and we're going to get the real raw version of Joe Murray right now. And to preface this, he does not know the questions ahead of time, so he can't prepare for them. So a little bit nervous probably. So might need some tissues. I don't know. We'll see. But
they're around.
but you know that's okay because we want this to be real. We want this to be raw, and want to find out who Joe is as a dad, and where he's been, what he's been through, and that kind of thing. So without further ado, we'll jump right in. So.
Yeah.
Joe, the first question is, or actually just not even a question, it's just tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 55. I just recently retired from Firestone as an engineer there, and I currently have another job right now for Turner Construction, working in their warehouse. I have 3 children. One currently is 28. He works for the Iowa DNR in fisheries in Centerville, Iowa, and my other son is 25, and he works with Garmin. He's a computer engineer down there, so 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. Yeah. And my daughter's 18, and she's going to be going off to college here soon.
Nice.
I've been married to my wife 34 years now.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
So that's good. Good start. Good start to life. Sounds like.
Yeah,
so,
not bad.
So next question, we'll start diving a little bit deeper. Is what did fatherhood look like for you growing up?
When I was younger?
Yeah. When you were a kid.
Right. I had a good example with my father. We spent a lot of time doing things. He worked hard back in the day. Those, your dads spent a lot of their week working. But when he had time off, he would spend it with us and do things. My dad and I had a connection with fishing a lot, so we do a lot of Canadian trips, or we do down to Bull Shoals, just different places we go fishing together. So had a pretty good relationship there, had my family together. So, to me, a family as I grew up really looked like being in a local church where I was at, with a wife who loved the Lord, and having a couple kids that I raised and spend as much time as I could with. And that's something as a couple, when we first started out, that's one thing we prayed about a lot, is to have some type of job where we could spend time with our kids.
Awesome.
Having 3 kids, we want to spend time with them. And they're the most important thing in our life. So, that's kind of how it looked.
Awesome. Next question is, so when you look at your life with your dad growing up, how did that shape how you were as a dad when your kids were younger? Going a little bit deeper there.
I guess it was just the example he was to me growing up. And the importance that he put on spending the time that he had with his kids. He was involved in ministries at church and elder at the church, etc. And then he had his job, but any of the other time he had was spent with us, being involved with us, going into our activities, kind of showing us that he cared about us, he loved us, and he wanted to spend as much time as he could with us in whatever activity that was.
Nice, awesome. Yeah. So then, as your kids got older, as they got older in their teenage years, what changed in how you showed up for them, if anything?
No, that's a good question. I think as they kind of got through the grade school, into more of the middle school and high school years, kind of what changed with me was less probably taking care of them, like when they were littler kids. And it was more just being there for them when they needed me, and trying to be proactive and spending time with them, and making them know, hey, I want to go out of my way to spend time with you. I love you guys. You guys are important to me. You're the most important thing to me. So, some of the things I would do with them is, like my one son, I'd take them out of school. I get in trouble. I get in trouble all the time.
I've done that.
I call and say, hey, I got family time with my kid, and I go pick them up at noon, and we go out fishing all day.
Yep.
And we'd hang out, walking up rivers and go fishing, and just spending time together. I wanted him to see, hey, I'm going to take a half day off work, and I'm going to spend it with you. I'm not going to go golfing or do something for myself personally. Like you guys aren't here. I'm going to go do something to make myself happy. I'm going to go fishing by myself. It was more, I want to spend time with you guys because you're important to me. And that was kind of one of the things that it changed a little more.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you. And then, was there a moment that really changed how you saw yourself as a dad?
For me, it was probably more, not as much spending time with them. It was more being a better example for them. Having them see something in my life of God and the importance of God in my life and how that directed everything I do.
Awesome.
It was making that more evident and obvious to them in everything I do. At work, in the church, with them. That was the important thing, because I knew that the kids are watching me. And they're seeing me as an example. And I wanted that to be a good example for them.
Okay. So the next one is actually two-part. What was the heaviest part of being a dad? One of the hardest parts of it during that time? Then, and then how it is now?
The heaviest part probably was more worrying about them. More, are they going to be okay? Are they healthy? Are they happy? Are they going to make it through high school okay? How are they going to do in college? Who are their friends? Worrying about all that. And then kind of trying to fix it or manipulate it a little. I'm naturally a worrier, an anxious kind of guy. And I can be a little controlling with that, or pestering, they would call it, with my kids. And I think, that kind of changed to, and it has been changing, and I continue to work on it, but trusting God more for them, for those things in their life. And really praying that way more, that I'm trusting God to direct them in their lives. And that's freed me up a little bit to just spend time with them, relax with them, have fun with them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so that's kind of where the heaviness probably comes from even more now, is letting God take the wheel, more or less. Jesus,
it's
take
hard.
the wheel.
Yeah, as they get older, it's hard.
Yeah.
It kind of switches from hovering over them and taking care of them, to letting them go in a way.
Right.
And trusting God with everything about them.
And hope they come back and visit me once in a while.
I hope they come see me once in a while, and they have grandkids, I can take them fishing or something.
Yep.
But that's probably, it's just rolling that all over to God.
Nice. Awesome. The last question, now that your kids are older, what do you hope that they're saying about you?
Hope they're saying I was a good dad. And then the times that I wasn't a good dad, that I was still trying to be a better dad all the time. And putting God first in my life, and then having them, and God's first, and then having them after that, my wife and my kids. Say that question again, sorry.
Now that your kids are older, what do you hope that they say about you?
Right. I hope they say I was a good dad to them, and also a good husband to my wife. Showing that example to them, so that they can, as they go further in life, they have something to look back on, like I did with my family, and say, hey, that's what a family should be. And they can use that as something to draw on going forward. I hope they say that I was a dad who enjoyed spending time with them, who it was important to me to spend time with them, And if that meant putting other things aside that
Yeah.
I really want or I really
Mhm.
wanted to do, they were number one. They were first before anything else. And I think that really helps them feel important and loved and help them feel like they matter going forward. And I hope that's something that they can take into their families, hopefully someday, and
Absolutely.
their kids to be able to say, hey,
Absolutely.
spend time with my kids.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and I want them to be able to say that, you know, my dad loved fishing, right? And I have one kid that loves fishing.
Yeah.
And I love doing that with them, but it wasn't, I was going fishing and they just came along.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah. Exactly.
I wanted to spend time with them. You know, it got to the point with the kids, especially when they were younger, that, you know, I'd have my pole and I wanted to go fishing.
Mhm.
And I'm ready to go and I'm like, come on kids, let's go get it. Eventually something switched and said, you know what, this isn't really about me doing
Yeah.
this is about my kids. This is about
Exactly.
spending time with them, helping
100%.
them grow, helping them learn,
100%.
encouraging them. So there were many a time I took my rod, I threw it in the bushes, I said, hey, remind me on the way back to pick that up.
Yeah. No.
You know what? And then
Yep.
you just spend time with them.
Yep.
And, you know, each kid was different. My daughter, she liked fishing when she was little, and she just liked spending time with dad.
Yep.
But I spent more time making sandcastles in the sand and
Yep.
little moats we could put a little smallmouth in, let them swim
Yeah.
around, swim back, and catching tadpoles and, you know, breaking open clams and finding buffalo
That's
bones
the
in the
good
river.
stuff right there, man.
She enjoyed that more than just
Yep.
fishing.
Yep.
You know? And then my other son, he's a computer engineer.
Yeah.
He didn't really love fishing or do anything like that. He just wanted to spend time with me. I mean, I remember times we went to Canada on longer trips. And he came like twice. And I knew that week, half of my time was going to be fishing and half my time was going to be hanging out with him. And that was, you know, going onto an
Yep.
island and hanging out. That was playing with minnows in the boat, taking
Yep.
videos of the lures we
Yep.
fished with and the different things that I'm not fully focused on fishing, but this is what he loved, this is what he wanted to
Yep.
do. And I'm going to spend my time with him doing that. So he was on the other end of the spectrum, but I want him to remember my dad spent time with me
Mm-hmm.
because he wanted to spend time with me.
Right. Correct.
And
Awesome.
he's actually one that he loves disc golfing now.
Hey,
So you know what? We've done trips off disc golfing.
that's cool.
We've taken off in Wisconsin and taken 3 or 4 days, and we hit a bunch of different disc courses. Wasn't my favorite thing.
That's a thing?
I like it now. It is. I know, right? It's a lot cheaper than golf.
Yeah. Real talk. Yeah.
So we just go off and do that. And you know what? It's just me and him for hours together doing it, taking drives and doing it, and
Nice.
talking and spending time together.
Nice.
And you know that means something to your kids that you would do that with them.
Yeah.
And they know.
Really would,
They know that's not his favorite thing in the world, but he's doing it
Yep.
for me and with me. I think it's important.
Yeah. No. If my kids ever want to go on a video game tour, I'm like, oh boy.
Uh-huh.
But you know, I'd probably go do it. I'd just
Yes.
be sitting there going, I have no idea where I'm at and what I'm doing, but I'm here with you. And so.
Along with that, my one son, he's the engineering guy, he loved Star Wars. So
Oh, yeah.
one of the trips, instead, he's not going to go fishing. One of the trips we did, we took a long weekend in Chicago went to one of the Star Wars celebrations, you know. We go and spend 3 days walking around, people in their cosplaying, everything. He loved it. You know what? That was spending time with him.
That's been done.
But, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for being willing to share and be vulnerable
appreciate
too.
it.
So, and there'll be more of these coming up as well as we talk to other dads in different stages of life. And matter of fact, we'll probably do one with me in a little bit. And my story might be a little bit different, guaranteed. So, but that's the neat part about how God designs all of us.
Yeah.
We're all different in many different ways, and we're all brought up differently. So, thanks for coming along the journey, and we hope to see you more.
Yep, thank you.